Phoenix states that that's a fintech firm that it has raised about $30 million in new venture capital, bringing its total known raises to $133 million. The round comes nearly 2 years after the do-it-yourself payments company closed a $30 million extension to its $35 million Series B round, and about 18 months after it raised a $3 million SPV led by Latinx and Black investors. In Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta has announced the addition of coding as a subject into its primary and secondary schools curriculum. This new development makes Kenya the first country in Africa to approve coding as a subject of study in Year 2 early schools. And quote says, "I applaud the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development for leading our nation to this landmark achievement by implementing coding as a critical skill within our new competency-based curriculum," according to a statement. All right, and South African as a service startup, AI as a service, Data Profit, has announced the completion of its $10 million Series A funding. The round, which started in 2020 with a $6 million round led by IDC and Norican. The latest round was led by a venture capital firm, Knife Capital, which initially invested in Data Profit way back in 2018 via its KNF Ventures. The funding for this latest round came from the firm's recently launched Knife Fund 3, which aims to support the international ambitions of African scale-ups. Joining us to discuss further, Ifeoma Abidoye, who's a Fintech Practitioner, corporate banker at FBNQuest. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for being with us. I want to start with this U.S. Department of Justice coming probe or suit against Google. Do you think these large tech firms are being punished for being, so big?
Thank you, Rotas. So I don't think it's a punishment. I think it's more of a regulation. Punishment is different from regulation. When you're big, you need someone to watch that you're not abusing power. Yeah. And so that's really what the Department of Justice is doing here, ensuring that that market dominance is not abused, yeah, or used in a way that consumers will be adversely affected. So that's really what's happening there.
I want to take you to look at a quote from Google's, I think it's a communication manager. Yeah, that's, what's his name here? Peter Schottenfeld says, "Our advertising technologies help websites and apps fund their content and enable small businesses to reach customers around the world. The enormous competition in online and advertising has made online ads more relevant, reduced ad tech fees, and expanded options for publishers and advertisers." What do you make of that? Is that legal speak, or is it just...
Exactly. You said it. You hit the nail on the head. So it's just really PR speak, you see. We're not expecting Google to come and say, really, there's a breach somewhere. Yeah. And really, when you look at it, really and truly, Google is actually, in a way, one of the first ad tech you think about. When you're thinking about technology and advertisement, you're thinking about them. So really, they know the game, and what they intend, I believe what their intention is to actually, be efficient. But when you're big, there's some lines that seem to be, you seem to cross, which is happening right now in the case of Google. So, it's really just a PR speak, because it's not, no one's going to say we crossed the line. Right. I think that's really why that response is.
Advertising spending in 2021, I think Google, Facebook, is it Meta, right? The top three. Yeah? So if you look at the share of about the $221 billion that was spent on ads, so Google takes up almost 30%, Meta 23.8%, Amazon 11.6%. So is there, I guess you look at these kind of numbers, is there a case to be made that they're a bit too dominant? Okay, let's talk about Google again. Yeah. This same case that they're facing with the Department of Justice is something similar they're facing in Texas as well. The Attorney General has made mention to, that there might be some, there's been some allegations, and there's a case of market dominance and abuse of power. What the Attorney General has said is that, because they are actually also doing business with publishers, doing business with advertisers, there's sort of a conflict of interest. So the Attorney General has said that maybe a part of the business needs to be sold off, so that you're servicing just one part, because there's no way there isn't some sort of conflict of interest. And when that happens, there's a tendency to be an abuse of power. So really and truly, dominance is not just in the market share itself. You're talking about what you're doing with it. So what is happening with that market share that you control, and
you know, how are you able to continue business and giving the consumers, who are the most important people in this mix, value for their money. So that's really it.
We'll see how things progress there. I want to move to Phoenix. What do you make of them being able to raise $30 million in this current environment?
You know, they are the underdogs. They're one of those names that, you know, they mean business and they're doing business, really. They know what they're doing. They know who their competitors are. And right now, they're going ahead and, you know, trying to sort of be main competitors to Stripe. They provide payment options in a way that, you know, the business environment needs. They're not just doing business as is, but they're trying to be innovative, providing cloud computing services, because everyone is moving to cloud now. They're providing services that everyone requires. So really and truly, it's an indicator of their business model working and investors' confidence in their business, and they want to go with them.
What do you make of the business model? Because I know they offer this almost do-it-yourself payment platforms for business. I think they also recently are getting in there as well, offering payments through their platform. That's the innovation you're talking about as far as their service?
Yes, you're right. So, you know, as I mentioned earlier, they're one of those people who don't just do what they think is okay, you know, what they think the market will find with them. They're constantly rejigging what their options are and making sure that if there's a place or there's a need in the market, they're servicing it. And that's really what their business model has been so far. So in addition, what they had been doing earlier was what's called software as a service. So providers can host their software on their own platforms. But in addition to that, now they're actually making payment solutions available for merchants to use, so that you're not just using them as a platform, they're actually helping you to do business. So they're diversifying their interest and making sure that they're capturing the market in every way, you know, that is required to make the money and of course give people what they want.
Interesting. I want to quickly, less than a couple of minutes to go, quickly ask you about Kenya and this development with the coding being part of their school curriculums, first African country to do so. What do you make of it? Do you think that others will follow suit?
Again, Kenya has shown that when it comes to technology, they're leaders. You know, when we started this fintech conversation, Kenya was one of the first to have fintech companies and startups. And, you know, it just shows that they are going in the right direction. And what we'll expect to see is that given in the next decade or so, we will not only have digital natives who know how to use software and tech applications and things like that. We're going to have natives who even know how to code. And you know, whilst it's not possible for everyone to be a developer, having a good knowledge of coding and how it works is definitely going to help. So even if you're a user, you know what to expect. So it's unlike now where, you know, we can just say, oh, this is the product I have. If you have a little understanding of how these things are made, you're able to demand what you want. And at the end of the day, everyone wins because it makes the producers more innovative. There's a lot of more competition and they have to be more innovative. Everybody wins, you know.
So you think we follow suit in Nigeria? You think other countries will follow what Kenya has done? Because, you know, there's challenges in the education sector, funding and all that other stuff, and you need computers for everybody to code. So
exactly. So in terms of what's going to happen, I guess it's too soon to say what's going to happen in Nigeria, for instance. But what I do know is that in Nigeria, we're very quick to move with the times. And so even if it's not possible, I don't really think that coding would be in the syllabus in the immediate future, but it will be something that will somehow be gradually introduced. Even as we speak right now, we have some academies who offer free coding, so students are able to take advantage of that. So even if it's not in the official syllabus as we have it, there's so many ways and alternatives to get that knowledge somehow. And there are already other countries who practice it anyway, and I'm sure with time, as things evolve, we'll see it happening everywhere.
Great conversation. Ifeoma Abidoye, corporate banker, fintech practitioner with FBNQuest. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Rotos.